How's everybody doing? My name's Mike, and we have Miss Barley with us today. We got my dog hanging out on place, doing a good job as always. Doing a great job, buddy. Keep it up. Good place, boy. He's just there. He kind of serves like as a distraction. It's also good for him over the years being able to sit and watch me work with other dogs. It helps his relationship with me, and he also gives me all of his trust when we have every time we bring a new dog into the home. He knows that I will be doing all of the correcting, and he does not need to do anything but hang out and just back me up. So what we're going to start doing is we just started introducing place to her, which is a bed, her own piece of furniture, an elevated bed that's up off the ground a few inches, and we teach them to remain there until we give them the command to come off. So also we're going to work her. We're going to be having her sit in succession. We're going to have her sit about 3 times in a row, and then I will walk around her on the third one, and we just want to get some success with her. She's a fearful dog, so you can even notice when she sits, she sometimes like takes a step back when she sits. You know, that's just she's a little unsure. The more we do this, the more sure she is going to be of herself, the more confidence she will start to build. Once she realizes I'm communicating with her what I want in a way that she trusts, understands, and respects, then they become more comfortable because the dialogue's there and there's a clear line of communication. So you see she's a little antsy, so that's my cue to start working her. We're also going to do a little behind the back heel with her. Hey girl, come on. Heel. Just like this. Good girl. Good girl. Heel. Place. Atta girl, good girl. Place. Good. That's good. I want to see her sit like that. If she goes to move off, I'm ready right away. I'm ready with my hand to slide it right off the leash to stop her if she comes off. Good girl. Heel. Good girl. Sit. Good. Good girl. Good sit. Heel. Sit. Good girl. Heel. Sit. So if she doesn't sit, I apply just a little more pressure. Good girl. Sit. So I say sit instead of stay, and if I want her to keep sitting, sit. I just say the word sit. I remind her of what I want. Good girl. Good sit. So me giving affection to her is actually a challenge for her. Since she's fearful, it's hard for her to accept that affection. I pet her on the chest, so that way it lifts her chin up to make her more confident instead of petting on her head, which would make her more submissive, putting her head down. I want her to be more confident, so I will pet the chest. Good sit. Good sit. Very quick as to not make her too uncomfortable. Heel. Good girl. Good job. Place. So a little pressure. So if the dog starts to refuse anything, we can never let the dog, if the dog doesn't want to do something, we can't let them do that. We have to get them to do what we're asking in a way that we're not forcing them, but we're mentally convincing the dog. Okay. Come. Good girl. Heel. Atta girl. Good job. Sit. Good girl. Heel. Place. No, place. 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 See how she's not sitting down this time as quick? So that's a cue that she might be trying to get up. You know, we want them to actually lay down when they go there. Place. And no. Place. The reason I did that is because her eyes went to the floor. So dogs, it's very important the body language. I see her eyes move to the floor. I tell her no. She sits down. So I caught her 3 steps before she actually physically started getting down. That's what you want to do with the dog. You want to catch them when they just look to do something rather than when they've started already doing it. Okay. Heel. Sit. Good girl. Heel. Sit. Good girl. Heel. Sit. Sit. Good girl. Sit. Good job. Sit. Atta girl. Good girl. Heel. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Good sit, girl. girl. Heel. Sit. Good girl. Heel. Sit. No. So no. I put a little pressure. Sit. So you see how she kind of moves backwards a little bit? That's partially the way I taught her to sit, was by putting pressure, and it made her go back a little bit, because I would walk her a step back to get her to actually sit. So that's something we work on. We try to clean up. She's still very new at training, so I'd like to get her, I don't want her too far back from me. Heel. Sit. That's much better. Good girl. Heel. Since she's a little bit of a fearful dog, place. Since she's a little bit, place. So I remind her what I want, place. Since she's a little bit of a fearful dog, those dogs tend to actually be very submissive dogs in the end run when they're provided the leadership. So when you see her taking a step back, she's actually like giving me space, which can be a good thing, but we definitely, this dog has practiced, and fearful dogs do this, like avoiding people or running away. You know, they know they're faster than the human, so they can kind of stay out of reach of the human. And so we don't want her doing anything like that. This is why we always use a leash to train them. And you want to do this with your dog every day. If there's something they're not good at, you want to practice that with them. You want to drill all the commands they have. Like, this is pretty much all the commands she knows right now. So that's what we drill. And we do it every day with them, and we get a small success with them every time we work with them. And that's how we start to build on that and create this whole picture of a trained dog. Heel. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Heel. Come on, girl. Heel. Sit. Good girl. Sit. Nope. Sit. Sit. Good girl. Sit. Sit. Good place, buddy. Good place, boy. Sit, girl. Good boy, good place. Good girl, good sit. Good girl, good sit. Good boy. He's a good boy. Doing a good job, buddy. Yeah. Good girl, good sit. Good girl. She'd rather have vocal praise than physical, but it's important for her to start accepting that physical praise without being weirded out. That's part of creating a balanced dog. Good girl. So a little bit on the chest, and that's it. Heel. If I pet her on the head, it will cause her to lower her head way too much. Place. Yeah, so that's about it for this session. Like I said, we're petting her on the chest to try and get her to start lifting her head rather than the head. She will lower her head way down to the ground. And we don't want to create that with her right now. We want to get a dog who is more confident, not so much more submissive or starting to go into like a fear state. Place. So remember, we don't say stay to the dog. If I tell the dog to sit and I want the dog to stay, I repeat the word sit. If I tell the dog place and I want the dog to stay on place, I repeat the word place. If we say stay, if I were to say stay to the dog, what I originally wanted was the dog to stay on place. That's why we don't say stay, we just repeat the word place. We cut that communication down to less words to make it more clear for the dog what we want. And at the end of training, it's very clear to the dogs what we want because of our timing and how we drill the commands and how we communicate with the dog in a way they trust, understand, and respect.